Hey, how you feeling? We made it to another episode of BlackUSA crypto news here on BlackUSA.news. So it's been a very interesting week, and there's a lot to share with you guys. But first and foremost, pick up a copy of DeFi for the Diaspora. I am going to be speaking about my book next week in Marin City with the Marin County Cooperation Team. So if you're part of the local Marin County area resident and you know the folks over at the Marin County Cooperation Team, be sure to reach out to them and let them know that you would like to attend. Also, gotta make a huge shout out to our big time sponsor here, STEM City USA. STEM City USA, welcome to the metaverse, guys. They're in the metaverse for sure. I'm almost in the metaverse. I'm catching up. Got a couple metaverse plays, but not here to talk too much about the metaverse other than that's what STEM City's all about. And so be on the lookout for STEM City. They have a lot of programming here on BlackUSA.news. So check out their programs and check out a lot of the other fine programming here on BlackUSA News, Monday through Friday, all weekend long as well. So it's 7 days a week now. So check out the archives. I'm sure you will find a program that is suitable to your liking. And I'm not sure if you see me, but hopefully you hear me. Now you see me, hopefully still. Not sure what's going on with that. But, you guys should check out the CageChain Newsletter. I want to tell you a little bit about it. CageChain is a weekly newsletter of everything that's going on in the blockchain, crypto, NFT, and DeFi space, and a little bit of metaverse too, guys. So, it is has global coverage on all things crypto. And we are supporting Erica Rhodes in her campaign for Congress in California's 32nd district. So if you guys get a chance, please contribute to her campaign. Some of the big stories this week taking place is Biden's executive order on cryptocurrency, which I will talk about a little bit later. As well as other regulation that Elizabeth Warren is actually drafting. Another big story is Ethereum transactions and gas prices on the Ethereum network are at, I'm not going to say all-time lows, but they're definitely, for this year, they are definitely at the annual lows. So that being said, take advantage of any moves you need to make in Ethereum, any games you're playing, DeFi games you're playing in Ethereum. You're probably going to get some pretty good prices. It's funny. I say regular gas prices are high. Ethereum gas is low. So check that out. And I also want to talk about ELEPHANT.MONEY. To me, that's the fun part. Regulation's fun too, right? Depends on where you sit sometimes, but let's get to some of these regulatory stories here. Of course, want to talk about, in particular, the story with Elizabeth Warren. So, let me see. Let me see if it comes up here. And let me see if I can share it. All right. So this was a very interesting regulatory story that I wanted to share with you guys. And it comes to us from Decrypt. Elizabeth Warren is drafting a bill to track transactions to private crypto wallets. Not sure how much support that's going to get, guys, but it's happening. This is where Senator Warren wants to go with it. So this is not a very crypto-friendly move, but this is going to be a trial and error thing. So let's see what happens. Senator Warren says the bill will help make sure Russia can't use cryptocurrency to evade sanctions. Well, it's happening now, and it's a little too late. Day late, dollar short. But in brief, Senator Warren and 3 other Democratic senators recently sent a letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen about crypto firms' compliance with Russia sanctions. She claims there's evidence that some crypto platforms aren't following rules meant to ensure sanctions compliance. All right. That was in brief. We're going to read it in full really quick for you. The U.S. and its allies have cut off the Russian central bank from hundreds of billions in foreign reserves. They've removed Russian banks from the SWIFT communications network, and financial transactions between the West and Russia and Russian state actors are banned. But some U.S. lawmakers are still concerned that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies can be used to bypass sanctions in the crypto industry, and they are not on board. Primary among them is Senator Warren, who says that she's drafting a new bill to ensure crypto isn't used by Putin and his cronies to undermine our economic sanctions. According to reporting from NBC News, which broke the news, the proposal would be in part, quote, to seek to make it easier to verify identities of customers and transfers to private crypto wallets by requiring financial institutions to keep detailed records and submit reports to the Treasury Department. Okay, honestly, is that not already happening? I seem to think so. So, whatever. But on his first day in the White House, President Biden froze federal rulemaking, including similar proposed regulation from the Federal Crimes Enforcement Network, FENCEN, that would require banks and money service businesses, MSBs, to submit reports to keep records and verify the identities of customers who transacted with private self-hosted wallets. The FinCEN rule had been proposed by outgoing Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin on December 18th, 2020. It drew the ire of the cryptocurrency industry, who argued that it was not only an effort by the Trump administration to ram through regulations without industry input, but also amounted to privacy violations of U.S. citizens. So that's the other side of that. It looks like I'm joined here with a special guest. And I'm going to see I believe I have a special guest here, none other than Mr. Donnie Glover. Are you here with me, sir? Okay. Maybe just watching.
Fine.
Let me know when you're ready. But
I got a bunch of cryptos.
You have a question. What is your question?
Well, first of all, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you?
Okay. Good. It's great, man. I want to know, we're talking about the show all over the country. They're talking, and this elephant thing, elephant. I missed that whole ad.
I'm going to get to that very soon, and I'm going to tell you about Elephant, and we're gonna have some fun with that. I kind of wanted to get through this wonky regulation pieces really quick. I think you get a sense of what's going on with Senator Warren. There was a executive order by Joe Biden, and were you aware of this executive order on crypto by Joe Biden?
I will not. Fool me.
All right. I am going to actually go to this story right now. I'm going to read it for you. Okay. So Biden just put out an executive order this week on cryptocurrencies. And this comes to us from CNBC. Here's everything that's in it. So the key points. U.S. President Joe Biden signed an executive order on Wednesday calling on the government to examine the risks and benefits of cryptocurrencies. The measures focus on 6 key areas: consumer protection, financial stability, illicit activity, United States competitiveness, financial inclusion, and responsible innovation. The Biden administration also wants to explore a digital version of the dollar. Well, you know what? That comes as no surprise because I've been saying for quite some time, central bank digital currencies are going to be the next thing. And you could see the United States version of a digital crypto dollar as soon as next year. So there's nothing new, but I think it's time for a grown-up conversation about crypto regulation. And I think this executive order pushes that. And really, there were 2 things. People were, there was some anxiety in the industry about what this executive order was really all about. And it really could have gone 2 ways, right? Right now, cryptocurrencies are unregulated, right? It's the wild, wild west, as people say. And so Biden could have done 2 things. He could have made an all-out ban of crypto, which has been done in places like Russia, China, India. Or he could have said, we're going to regulate it, right? Like if he didn't want to regulate it, he would remain silent on the issue. So it was either going to go 2 ways. And this was the best way to go out of those, right? Like an all-out ban of crypto would not have been a good thing. So there was a positive market reaction to this news, which I thought was good. I mean, like I said, it's a grown-up conversation. Cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, it's not going anywhere. It's the future of money. They're building their own crypto digital dollar. So it only makes sense that it's going to have some degree of regulation. Now, something else I do want to touch on is when it comes to consumer protection, financial stability, illicit activity, financial inclusion, and responsible innovation. Those are all things that I talked about in my book last year when I was writing it in 2020. But when I published it last year, all these things are things that I talked about in my book. So pick up DeFi for the Diaspora. There should be a link in the description. So check it out. Audiobook is also available with a signed copy. So, this is something, once again, that is not going anywhere. This concept is not going anywhere. So it's the future of money, and it's time for us to get on the boat, get on the train, and hitch a ride, and ride the wave, and make a little money along the way. So what say you, Mr. Donnie Glover, on this whole thing?
I want to know about Russia.
You want to what?
I want to know if Russia.
You're breaking up on me a little bit. You said you want to know about Russian crypto?
It's 'cause, 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 '
Okay, I think we lost Donnie. If you can, Donnie, please write it out in the chat for me. That would be great. And that way I will make sure that I don't lose anything that you are saying. Can you do that for me? Put it in the chat so everyone can see. Is there Russian crypto? Russia has also been dabbling with the idea of a digital ruble. And so I know that they had plans to launch it. It hasn't launched. China has a digital yuan that they were rolling out during the Olympics this year, and it kind of got off to a rocky start. So, yeah, Russia is definitely building, or, I think they've built it. They're probably still working on it. What Russia has done recently is they have banned Bitcoin mining operation and cryptocurrency mining operations that take place in the country. I think they've seized a lot of those mining operations. So no telling if they seize them and begin using those operations to build up their own crypto treasuries. Who knows? I mean, it wouldn't be too far-fetched. And now look at everything, right? In Russia, they're completely shut off from, the global banking system. And how else are you going to really tap into liquidity other than crypto right now if you're Russia? So, that is highly plausible that we will see this. But okay, here's what I really, really want to talk to you guys about today. And it is elephant money. Gosh, I don't know which one to show you guys first here, but bear with me. Yeah, so I've been talking about Elephant Money. Full disclosure, they were a past sponsor of this show. I have a lot of fun with this project, and I've gotten a chance to meet a lot of the folks in that project. Bank teller, chief among them, which has been very fun. It's been a fun ride, guys. But let's check out what is going on here with Elephant Money. Let me see if I can. No, I want to blow this up. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better, guys. In fact, let me just get out of the picture here. So, when I first started telling you guys about Elephant Money, this was, oh man, I want to say it was just under 100 million, or whoops, sorry. It was under 20 million in total value locked. That's what TVL stands for, total value locked. And now we're at over 125 million in total value locked. Now, Elephant, let me describe the ecosystem here. Elephant should be looked at as a decentralized community bank. Or, well, let's look at it in the context of a decentralized community bank and what that means, right? So, Bank of America, this is an analogy here. Hopefully people don't beat me up for this, but I see Elephant, the Elephant token, which is a reflexive token that gets taxed for every buy, taxed for every sale. Keep that in mind. I think of it almost as like a stock, right? It's speculative. It has its ups and downs. So just like Bank of America and Wells Fargo, they have stock on, various exchanges. That's the way to think about Elephant Money. And right now, there is over 92 million in total value locked just in the Elephant token, right? So, or that's the market capitalization, excuse me. That's quite a bit, guys. It's quite a bit. And like I said, it has gone up in quite some time. So Once again, we're looking at Elephant as like a stock. I'm not saying it's a stock, but think of it as a stock. It represents this bank, this ecosystem, right? And I mean, I compared it originally to Dogecoin, thinking it was just going to be this really cheap, reflexive token to buy into. And so I bought it, whatever. But there's more to it. So if you, once again, going into this banking concept, right? You have the Elephant token. Now you also have what's called Trunk, which is the stable coin within this ecosystem. The stable coin is pegged essentially, or it's priced at $1, pegged at $1. We'll say that. And it's collateralized by 75% of the Binance US dollar and 25% with Elephant, right? So every time you mint a Trunk stablecoin, one Trunk stablecoin, 25% of that is Elephant that's being bought off the market. So what's happening every time you're printing these stablecoins is you're making the Elephant token even more scarce, right? Or you're locking that value into the ecosystem. And so you have now minted and printed this stablecoin. And if I go back here for a minute, we can look at the rates on the stablecoin. Currently is 63.8%. You get that 63.8% when you stake the Trunk stablecoin. So you think of that as a savings account within this community bank, right? The whole ecosystem is a global community bank. Staking Trunk is your savings account that gives you a very high yield. No bank is going to give you 63.8% for saving your dollars. I'm sorry, that just doesn't happen. Or at least, I mean, if it does, you let me know, guys. Now, we've talked about Elephant. We've talked about Trunk. Now there is what's called Stampede, which is the bonding mechanism. So now think of savings bond. You know, some companies have high yield bonds that they put out in the market. And just like if you were to buy a bond doesn't mature until a certain date. So unlike a savings account where you can put it in your savings account, and if you really need it, you can access those dollars. A bond, when you buy a bond, once again, you can't really access that money until it matures. So that's how the bonding mechanism works. But when you bond, you earn just about 205% APR. Now that's if you just don't do anything to those funds. The fun thing to do is this thing called compound interest. So every day you're going to get essentially a small dividend of the bond that you can then roll over and compound. So when you compound, you're making even a higher APR than you would if you didn't, really. So cool thing here, and let's just go back to something else. Let me see. Something else I want to show you guys is I want to go back to the actual chart here, because the chart is actually off the charts. No pun intended, guys. So just since yesterday, there's been a 5% appreciation. Now, are you guys looking at this chart? I'm looking at this chart. I guess, wait, I'm looking at the chart. You're not. Sorry about that, guys. But there's been a 5% appreciation, and let me see what I can do here to expand the chart. So this, I believe that we were somewhere around when I began reporting on when I began reporting on Elephant Money, I think we were, whoops. Of course, guys. Sorry about that. Let me reset this. Gonna find where we were on the chart here, so bear with me. I gotta clear things up and use a tool. So, okay. Use the right tool. Which tool is this? Hopefully this is the right tool. I want to say we were somewhere around here when I started reporting on Elephant. And clearly you can see we're up here now, right? So we went from down there to up here. Down there, up and to the right, guys. That's where this chart is going. Why it's going in that direction, I've done a series of shows in terms of why it's doing this. And so you guys got to go back into the archives. But that's not really important. The important reason why I'm talking to you guys a little bit more today about Elephant is that there is a new partnership program that's actually rolled out, and it's been out for a couple weeks now. And I do want to let you guys know, you may see the chart and say, oh, I missed out, I'll catch the next one. I don't think that's correct. I think that this system, the ecosystem, is going to continue to grow. And there's, once again, this is a global community bank. And, not everyone in the world knows about it. And the more people who do are going to want to join. And the more people who come and bring value to the ecosystem, the more, once again, more elephant is going to get burned, making the elephant that you do buy and you do hold more and more scarce. And the more people who are going to use the trunk stablecoin, right, that's going to lock in more value into the ecosystem. So more capital coming to this ecosystem, it's inevitable, guys. People are going to see that chart and say, hey, they're either going to wait till there's some degree of pullback and hop in, or they're just going to say, hey, I'm going to mint stable coins and get 60%, which you can't get on a lot of stable coins, on a lot of DeFi platforms out there. So, or they're going to want a bond. Some people don't want any elephant at all, or they're waiting for the right time to re-enter at, the next lower low. And in the meantime, what are they doing? They're buying trunk and they're staking it, or they're buying bonds and just compounding their bonds, because it just makes so much sense. And really, if we, the market has taken a bit of a dip from a couple weeks ago with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And honestly, the market's probably going to continue in this downward direction. That's my guess, because this war or conflict, is going to probably continue to linger on. I don't want to see that happen. I would prefer that, there not be any war in the world. But I think the markets are going to continue to feel that impact of this conflict. And so that said, having those bonds and those stable coins in place in your portfolio to make sure that you're not suffering sustained losses is a good thing. So wait a minute. I said all that to say that none of this is financial advice. None of this is legal advice. And none of this is tax advice either. But it's for your information. And like I said, I've brought it out there. I've done deep dives on what Elephant is and how it works. But most importantly now, I would like to partner with you. So next week, I'm hoping, or in the weeks to come, maybe might not be next week, but the week thereafter, I am going to be putting up my partnership. And what does that mean? We're going to partner together to continue to grow with the Elephant Money ecosystem. And I'm going to be giving away free crypto, guys. I got in on Elephant very early on, almost, not day one, maybe day 3 or day 4. I've done pretty good. And if you guys are interested, you want to get in, reach out to me. I'll find a way to make it easy to reach out to me. Hey, I'm on Twitter here. So reply saying I'm interested, and we'll find a way to communicate on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. Comment on this and say you want to partner with me, and I will find a way to facilitate that. This is on a lot of social media channels. Regardless, reach out to me and we will make this happen. And like I said, we're probably going to do some free crypto giveaways very soon here. I think maybe the first will probably be in Marin City next week at the Future and Finance discussion I'm going to be having. So, hey, with that, guys, stay tuned for more excellent programming here on BlackUSA News. Stay tuned to free crypto giveaways on BlackUSA Crypto News. And in the meantime, stay safe and